This is a demonstration of a solution for problem 1 of experiment set 4 for the course ECE 40084. The problem states to create a password code to turn the LED on. Also, I'll describe how this general solution can be applied to the other problems in the set. So what we're looking at right now are the two relevant push buttons. They're hooked up as per the diagram in the Vilros manual, and the code that we'll discuss consists of the typical Arduino structure of some global variables, a setup routine, which is called once, and a loop function, which is run repeatedly. Now, I've used a finite state machine pictured here, which captures the states of the code entry, in which each time a button is pressed, possibly for a repeated number of times, will represent one state of the code entry. And if you're in the midst of one state, you press the wrong button, which in this case is the other button, then the state changes to an error state, which flashes a message and reinitializes the state to the first. So you can see that from state 1, you're just expecting button 1 presses until you're done with that button. Then normally you'd move to state 2, and you do the same thing for button 2. And if in any case you're expecting a particular button up until the proper count of button presses, then that wrong button press would lead to the error state, which is shown in the middle. And that essentially flashes a message which is a prelude to reinitializing the state to state 1. And so here is actually what happens as we look at the states, or the scenario for a code setup with where we're expecting 3 pushes of button 1, 4 pushes of button 2, and 2 pushes of button 1 for the final state. And I'm going to set up the serial port display so that we can see what is happening also on the computer screen. So first of all, what we're doing here is to start by pushing the buttons. Button 1 is at the top. And as I'm doing so, I'll try to get onto the screen here so we can see. Okay, we're in state 1. We've had 2 button pushes. Now the third, we move to state 2. Now, if in that state 1 we pressed, or state 2, we pressed button 1, which would be a wrong button press, we get the error state and we move back to state 1. So now we're back in state 1. We'll do the 3 normal button presses. We'll go to state 2, and that expects 4. However, if we only do 3 button presses and press button 1, go back to an error state. So then we're starting back over. We'll do the 3 on state 1. It's actually hidden by a window here that I can hopefully remove. Okay, so we're in state 2. We would expect 1 more button press. Go to state 3, and then if we go 2 button presses that are expected, code entry is successful. So essentially all the states work the same. They're just looking for a different number of button presses, and which button, of course, is the correct one to press. So the code could be modularized, and you can imagine setting it up so that the code could be entered from some type of file or database, in terms of being able to easily change the code that's sent to the device. So once again, what happens on the board is that the LED will turn on once the correct code has been entered. We're in state 2 now. We expect 2 more presses. Turns on the LED. Thanks very much for viewing the demonstration.